Hypertrophic cardiomyopathy is a genetic disease which causes the muscle of the heart to thicken. Left untreated, it can lead to heart failure and it's quite common. But the therapies we have available at the moment treat only the symptoms and don't alter the underlying disease course. Now, new research from Harvard University has identified the molecular clockwork that actually causes the condition, and they're testing a new drug that may help stop it. I'm Adam Murphy, and I spoke to Chris Tupfer to hear how.
About 1 in 500 people globally will suffer from a disease where they have thickening of the walls of their heart, which we call hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. This is typified by their hearts contracting often too hard and relaxing very poorly in between beats.
I would have thought just offhand, this may be a silly question, but is a stronger heart and a thicker heart not a good thing?
Yeah, that's a good question. So we have two types of thickening usually. One of those is if you're an athlete, your heart can naturally thicken in response to the exercise you're doing. And then we have more a disease side thickening that's caused in hypertrophic cardiomyopathy that manifests with what we call diastolic problems, which is poor relaxation in the heart. So when the heart has to relax after a beat and perfuse itself with oxygen, it's unable to do so well.
How do people get it at the moment? How do you get this disease?
So the majority of patients, as it's an inherited disease, one gets this genetically, so it's in your DNA. It's generally caused by two proteins in the heart. One of those is a protein which we see at the moment as the molecular brake of contractility in the heart, and another protein that's actually the molecular motor that drives contraction. We found that most patients we see with hypertrophic cardiomyopathy have a smaller amount of this protein that's the molecular brake called myosin binding protein C in their heart cells. Removing this molecular brake is causing the motor of the heart to actually go a little bit haywire and work too much.
So, can fixing that imbalance help the problem?
In our study, we look at a clinical compound that's in currently preclinical trials and clinical trials that's looking to restore this balance between those two states of the motor of the heart. So what we find is that we can acutely treat our cells that have the disease with this compound, and it will decrease the contractility and restore the ability of the cells to relax appropriately.
Okay, and what's next for your group? What's the next step?
We've understood the molecular mechanisms driving one of the biggest causes of this disease. We have a lot of patients in the clinic who present with hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. They can now undergo genetic screening, and different mutations in their DNA can be possibly causing the disease, and we don't know which one may be driving the disease and by which mechanism. This opens a door for us to start understanding how their disease is mechanistically either the same or different from what we've discovered, and hopefully inform a treatment in the future.
So it would be a treatment that would get to the root of the problem as opposed to just dealing with symptoms?
Exactly. So we're trying to move towards a more personalized medicine approach where we can start to categorize patients who have similar ways the disease functions and treat those individuals together and identify different or novel mechanisms for other ways that this disease could be driven and identify new pharmacological targets to treat that disease.